Hello, my friends. How are you doing? It's Heather, and this is the Back to Me podcast. And it's Wednesday. Wow, it's Wednesday, and time flies. Time just. Although it's funny that I'm saying that because I just was recording something else where I said you are the master of your time. So time's not flying. Time is exactly where it needs to be. And today, the my topic for today, so this is the Wednesday edition of the podcast, which means that it's just a random thought of the week that came to me. And this week was about this is your permission slip. So last week I was talking about the on being a badass, and it's so funny that I still kind of hesitate to say that. I was just this Friday, by the way, is the first episode of the celebrity book chat, and or not celebrity book chat, just regular book chat. I'm reviewing a book. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and if you haven't read it, oh my gosh, I highly recommend it, and I'll tell you lots about it on Friday. But it's interesting that that book came up in my list as the first book because when I was talking about on last week about doing the 110-kilometer kayak race and the things that I learned from it, and I hesitated even then to talk about being a badass, hashtag badass, and I still kind of hesitate, even though I know that it's just me trying to downplay something that I did, because I did do it, and there's lots of reasons behind it, and the book actually goes into some of the reasons we do that for ourselves, but I had come up with the topic for this week before I had realized which book it was I was gonna be talking about on Friday. So, subconscious? Maybe. The universe? Maybe. Who knows? So this week is on This Is Your Permission Slip, and it's fall, it's autumn, it's a little chilly out. You can see I'm, like, got my cozies on. I actually just had to turn off the little heater next to my desk because this time of year is interesting when you live in a building that you don't control the heating system. There's like a specific parameters for turning heat on in a building apparently, and we haven't hit it yet. So if you're a little chilly, you got to put on a sweater, just like in the olden days. Dad would say, if you're cold, put on a sweater. Um, but it's permission slip. Let's go back to permission slips. So there's things everybody's got things that they want to achieve in life, right? Everybody has things that they want, they dream of, they daydream of, they think are impossible, not possible at all. And why do we do that? One of the things actually from the book that I had read was that we don't, I mean, I'm just peeking down here. We have these kind of internal set points of what we think we're worthy of. And I don't know if you've heard of I think maybe she's not a psychologist. She's from the UK, Marie Pierce. And one of her things is that people don't think that they're enough. People never think that they're enough. Even if relative to you, you might think that they're like this epic being, like some movie star, superstar. Everybody's got imposter syndrome. Everybody thinks they're not enough to some extent somewhere. And that shouldn't stop you. So if there's something you want to achieve in your life, I want to give you a big fat permission slip to go and do it. Because it's so freeing when someone says, "Yeah, you can do that if you want." And then you start to think about, maybe I can do it. And if you start to think about, maybe I can do it, then you start taking the steps to do it. And I know sometimes the task is big and overwhelming. So start with, one step at a time. But you can do some really epic things in your life if you just take that first step to decide to do it. Well, no, the first step is to be aware that you want to do it. My decision making steps: awareness, then decide to do it, and then start taking those actions. And I can remember some things in my life where I had to give myself permission. And this one's going to seem funny. Um, I had to give myself permission to nap when I was tired. And you'll think, Heather, that's ridiculous. But I wouldn't let myself. I would drive myself to exhaustion, no matter how tired I was. And my partner, Brad, he's a king napper. Like that man can nap like nobody's business. So when we started dating, he would say, "Why don't you?" He would see I was tired and he would say, "Why don't you take a nap?" And I say, "No, I don't need a nap. Er, I'm just going to power through this." And I had to start giving myself permission that I'm not a failure because I'm tired. I am going to achieve my goals. I'm going to achieve my goals even better because I'm going to have the energy for it and I will have more clarity about what I want to do. And it wasn't until later in life, it's actually funny. I remember being in kindergarten, and back in kindergarten, when they made us have nap time and we would have our blanket, they would never do this now. We laid on the floor with our blankets that we had brought from home. And I would lay there looking at these kids napping. And I can remember, even though I was probably only 6, 5, 6, how old are you in kindergarten? Thinking, what are these kids doing napping? That's their stuff to do. So I came to it early in life, apparently. But it was when I was in school to become a massage therapist and I was a mature student. That's what they call us, I guess, when we're out of our 20s. I was a mature student and studying something new and something difficult. And I wanted to be a massage therapist. And I wanted to learn all this new anatomy and psychology and physiology and pathology and neurology, all the ologies. And I would get these concepts that I just could not learn. And that's when I started giving myself permission to nap because I must have been a weak point. Brad must have said to me, "Just try." So I had to set parameters around it to allow myself to do it. So and I still do it now. It's like I'm going to lie down. I'm going to close my eyes. If I open my eyes in 10 minutes and I haven't fallen asleep, then I will let myself get up. But it never happens. I never open my eyes and go, "Oh, I didn't fall asleep." I always fall asleep. And I wake up 20 minutes later, and it's happened to me more than once where I've been struggling with something. I've given myself permission to take a nap. I've taken my nap. I've gotten up, and I've looked at the thing that I was struggling with, and I thought, "Oh my god, are you kidding me? It's so obvious." My brain just needed time. And especially after my stroke, I really had no choice. Luckily, I had started to exercise my permission muscle. Um, I had no choice. I had to nap. Now I can see, like, I know what comes up for me. It's like, I don't need to nap. I'm a grown up. I don't have time. That's too decadent. That's too self indulgent. That's fill in the blank. But seriously, give yourself some permission to take a nap. Give yourself some permission, even maybe it's not a nap. Give yourself permission to take an hour off and go for a walk. Give yourself permission to do all the things that you need to do to support you on your goal. Give yourself permission to have a big, hairy goal. Remember, I talked about that last week. Give yourself permission to have a big goal and then give yourself permission to find what you need to support you on your way to it, to that goal. Maybe it's napping. I highly recommend it. I didn't know today was going to go into napping, but there it is. So, my friend, this week is your permission slip for whatever you need to be a more awesome you to whatever you want to do with this life, right? Um, we do all have a finite amount of time, and you want to make sure that you are 100% at the end of it happy with what you look back on. We don't want to read about the regrets of the dying, right? So I don't regret napping at all. And just experiment with it. Be curious. Be curious about the things in life that will support you on your way. And as always, if you need some help, reach out to me, you know, stick up your hand, find a group of people, find a supportive group of people. The tribe that you're in, choose them wisely because they will elevate you if you let them. And stay warm and cozy on this chilly, chilly day. Here is chilly. And I hope to see you again really soon. Take care, my friends. Have a great nap. Talk to you later.